Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Hello, Spread fans, and welcome to another great episode. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with J-Dash and Big Easy.
Yup.
Flipping the script a little bit on everybody today. We're going to talk Philadelphia Eagles football, not Pittsburgh Steelers football. This
Same state.
Eagles franchise is in complete disarray ever since Andy Reid left. Andy Reid was there from 99 to 2012. The Eagles were 130, 93, and 1 when he was there. They went to the playoffs 9 times, won the division 6 times, finished second 4 times. Since he left, they're 26 and 21, and they've only made the playoffs once. And that was in Chip Kelly's 3 years, where he made it the first year with Andy Reid's players. Then the second year, he got a little more power. And the third year, he took total control of the franchise and just completely screwed everything up.
So he's been out of the franchise for 3 years now?
Yes.
And they made the playoffs once?
Yes. Andy Reid is 31 and 17 in that 3-year span, and he's made the playoffs twice with Kansas City. So
yeah, Kansas City probably had a better team at that point, though. Like when he left the Eagles and went to the Chiefs, I would have to believe.
I don't know, maybe I think the first year the Eagles probably still had a better team. Now, definitely, I think Kansas City has a better team because Chip Kelly completely screwed everything up. But I would say Reid's first year in KC that Philly had more talent on the roster.
Well,
they had LaShawn McCoy, but you still
They had McCoy, they had
Jamaal
Jeremy
Charles.
Maclin, they had Deshaun Jackson, They had Michael Vick and Nick
But
Foles at quarterback.
I was thinking more defensively, you know what I mean? The Chiefs did have a good defense for the past several years now, where the Eagles, I mean, they've always had...
They had a less superior defense.
At least since... Well, when Andy Reid was there, they did have some good defenses.
Right.
But by the time he left, I think that defense... Because when he left, did they make the playoffs? Do you even remember what happened his last year there?
I don't remember what
I
happened.
don't remember either.
Season.
I kind of feel like their defense wasn't that good.
I'm assuming they didn't make the playoffs to fire him because it's not like he just walked away and he had been there for so long. You don't just fire him if he made the playoffs. So one would have to assume it was a bad year for him. But since Reid has left, we said it, Chip Kelly, he's gotten fired already. Now he's out in San Francisco to screw their franchise up. He's already arguing with the GM there from reports that I'm reading. They already clashed with what they want to do. Kelly has traded or released or murdered. I don't know what he does to all these guys. Apparently he's a racist. But he's gotten rid of players like Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, McCoy, DeMarco Ryans. They signed DeMarco Murray and then traded DeMarco Murray after not even using the guy right. I mean, he had the most carries for the Eagles backs last year, but they didn't run him the way he's
That's not Chip Kelly, though. They kind of just trying to move on from the whole Chip Kelly thing.
Chip Kelly's well, I know, but they didn't like the fit, you know what I mean, of Murray. So they didn't like all these players that Chip Kelly brought in. But Riley Cooper, remember, he was screaming the N-word.
Yeah.
He got re-signed, but then they trade freaking Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin and LaShawn McCoy. Like, how does that even make sense? I guess the McCoy trade isn't too bad because you did go get Ryan Matthews and you did go get DeMarco Murray. So you just felt
and they kind of wanted out.
They were better backs. And they got Kiko Alonso for Murray. Or for McCoy,
got injured and really didn't do much last year.
Who, McCoy? He had more yards. Oh, I was
the linebacker they traded for.
Oh, yeah, Alonso. And he got either traded or released already. He's in Miami Dolphin now this year.
So that was garbage.
Yeah, they've already gotten rid of him. They traded Nick Foles for Sam Bradford, and then Bradford had an okay year, and then they re-signed Bradford for 2 years, like $20 million almost each year, and then they trade up from 15 to 8 and then 8 to 2 to take a quarterback, and now Bradford's pissed and he wants out. So, and now they're saying they won't trade him, so they're basically holding him hostage and forcing him to play quarterback there. This whole franchise is just so screwed up right now. And for Philly fans' sake, even though I'm not a big fan of Philly fans, hopefully Doug Peterson can right this ship. He came from Kansas City, worked with Andy Reid, so it's kind of bringing in a disciple of Andy Reid.
DP.
But hopefully he can get this franchise straightened out and at least get him going in a direction, because I feel like Chip Kelly was trying to go in 10 different directions at the same time.
Well, first of all, they have one thing on their side. That whole division they're in, all those teams are in shambles. Dallas, if Romo's not healthy, they're garbage.
Washington, I don't believe in Kirk Cousins. And he could have been a flash in a pan.
And that all boils down to it's quarterback play. That year that the Eagles were successful under Chip Kelly, didn't Foles have like 20 touchdowns and 1 pick or something?
Something beast like that.
So it was great quarterback play that it was the reason why they were successful that year, and thus the reasons they weren't successful is because I don't understand. So what? He had that great year and then they trade him away. What is that? What was that all about? For Sam Bradford.
Players seem like they.
What did he say? I see more potential in Sam than Nick.
That's what it is.
He convinced the owner.
He kind of felt like Nick Foles wasn't as good as he showed, so he had higher value than what he was really worth. And Sam Bradford, coming off an injury, he thought he does have more potential.
He moves around a little bit better if he doesn't have 2 blown out knees.
Chip Kelly in his own mind, in his own cool football mind, he thought he was on point with that.
Yeah, he
Sam
took
Bradford's
full control
garbage.
over all personnel.
To be fair, Nick Foles was horrible last year.
Yeah.
To be fair, Sam Bradford and Nick Foles were garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like Nick Foles, though. I'm hoping he can
that's my
somehow turn it around at some point.
I feel bad for Eagles fans because the Eagles were so good for so long. What did they make? 4 straight NFC Championship games when Donovan McNabb was there. Yep. They made it to a Super Bowl. They had some great players in there, some fun teams to watch, even if you didn't like them. They were good football teams.
T.O.
And now it's just a shit show, for lack of a better word.
What's been their record the last 5 years?
Well, he said since he left, 26-21. So I mean, they have a winning record.
Yeah, but they were 6-10 last year. They were 10-6, 10-6, and then 6.
So really,
6 and 10.
They really haven't been a mess since he left. They just turned into a mess over the past season.
Well, yeah, he turned them into complete craziness, and the players hated him. Anything that I read about a player talking about Chip Kelly, they either didn't say anything because they didn't want to be a jerk, or they just trashed the guy. I've never heard a player come out in defense of Chip Kelly. He's an egomaniac who may be better suited to college, where these kids aren't grown-ass men and willing to call out their coach and be like, no, screw you. Because seriously, from what I read, and I wasn't there, I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but from what I read, by the end of last season, players had just completely checked out. They didn't want anything to do with practice. They just hated coming to work. They hated Chip Kelly. I'm sure there might have been a few guys in there that liked him. I'm not saying every single player hated him, but the majority of players didn't want to be there. The star players don't like playing for him. He just seems like an asshole to me.
Not every coach is going to be liked by everybody.
Right.
So... Hey,
a lot of hated
that's
coaches,
the person he is,
won Super Bowls. Bradshaw hated Chuck Noll, and they won mad Super Bowls together. But Chuck Noll was respected by most players. You know what I mean? Even if they got mad at him or didn't necessarily like him when they were playing for him, when they were done, they respected him.
Right.
I don't think that's the case here with Chip Kelly.
Yeah, but if players don't respect Chip Kelly, I don't think he'd be working in the NFL, though. So that's kind of...
And also, you could look at it another way, too, is the way society is today that,
nobody respects authority.
Yeah, nobody respects anybody anymore. So you could look at it that way.
I definitely agree with that, Dash, that's creeping into the NFL, especially with the whole, they have to do these excessive celebrations. Well, we want to have fun. Well, nobody's saying you can't have fun, but you don't got to freaking backflip into the end zones or, you know what I mean? Like, use things for golf props and, you know what I mean? Yeah. Cell phones on it. There's a difference between, the old school generation having fun and this new school, and definitely people just don't respect people anymore and don't want to be told what to do. You have to tiptoe around everything anymore. You can't just go to somebody and say, hey, right now, you suck, and you need to get better, because they'll cry, their agent will bitch in the media, and then they'll end up somehow getting themselves traded. It's pathetic. But I needed to vent about the Eagles, and this has been weighing on me, so I just wanted to come sit down, and hopefully some Eagles fans will actually listen to this. And I do feel bad for you guys, so hopefully Doug Peterson changes everything.
Although earlier he said he don't like you.
Well,
I still feel bad for a fan base who's, loves their team, but most Philly fans are jagoffs.
What do you realistically see them, what type of season do you see them having this year? Coming off
8-8?
Well, you're giving them a two more wins than
like
last
you said,
year.
the division's
With who?
garbage.
Who's their quarterback?
Bradford's there
again?
still, yeah.
But who'd they draft?
They took
Carson Wentz
first overall, so they're going to be grooming him, but they still said they want Bradford to play this year.
Who was the...
I don't remember who their second or third round pick.
No, were they pick number 2, though? Or?
Yeah, they took Carson Wentz.
They trade up from 15 to 8 into 2. because they wanted
They
to
went
get
the whole way to
franchise quarterback.
okay, right. Okay. So Carson Wentz, my boy,
He's got a strong arm.
work.
So hopefully their future will be good. Doug
Week 4,
Peterson's-
week 5.
Yeah, it never works. out
Bradford has
for-
barely ever made it through a whole season,
rookie
so there's
quarterback.
no reason to expect him to do it this time.
except for Roethlisberger.
Nelson Aguilar is going to be better.
Yeah, I
Though.
bet you he will too. Second year for
Everybody has to
receiver
be
is
better.
usually their breakout year if they're going to be good. But that's it. Fans, questions, comments, hit us up on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter at betjimtowin. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Keep coming back to YouTube and click and subscribe. Dash, do you know how many subscribers we got now? 5 million?
269.
69.
I said 269.
Mr.
I think it really is
Courageous
269. I'm sorry I said the
Donkey.
number. You pervert.
Believe it.